Do you want me to go pick them up somewhere by the Fashion Show Mall?
No, I'm gonna have them drive to your house because otherwise, like it's just too confusing. I mean, rather than to have you come to my house, go back to the Fashion Mall or whatever. If you were gonna be at Wise Guys, I would just give it to you at Wise Guys, but
Yeah.
I have 2 dates tonight.
What?
I have 2 dates tonight.
Oh, that's so cool. Yay.
I'm so tired of this shit.
Me too. I gotta give it to you. You know, I should get out there and try to be on the apps, but like, this is gonna sound like I'm bragging. It's not meant that way. Like, I have a brain issue, and if I put a post out and 2 people reply, I get them confused.
Oh, I keep a little black book of everyone I go out with, their names, what they do for a living. Not just because it's so confusing, the amount of like people, and then a lot of times because they're both named Keith or John or whatever, I have to like go look, okay, what's this dude do?
That's a great idea. Every time I'm around you, I just get better and better. You have great tips.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, you know, we were talking before on Facebook. What?
About being arrested.
Yeah, all our run-ins with the law. That started because of Jessica Wellington's post, I think.
I saw that. Let's hear your story about running with the law.
Okay, so I've never gone to jail, but I could have gone to a Mexican prison.
Ooh, that's rough. Tell me about that happened.
So the statute of limitations is over, so I have nothing to worry about. But I was stupid. My daughter and I, she was like 35, and I went to Mexico to live because I was on like $600 a month with the VA money. $600 a month living in San Francisco in a van. And I went to the VA and I said, I can't afford to live. And they go, well, go to Mexico. And I'm like, fuck you. So I went to Mexico and I found a place for $200 a month. And I made the mistake of sending a question to the VA back home.
Oh no.
On a postcard from Mexico with a margarita on the postcard, I think. And they shut down my VA pension of all of $600 a month.
Really? Because they told you to go live in Mexico. Why did they shut it down? Because you were drinking?
Yeah, like some paper pusher got jealous or something. So here I am in Mexico. My daughter got pregnant. That's a whole nother story. We're in Mexico with a beagle and a pregnant daughter and me with a little bit of a brain injury and no way to pay rent. So I got somebody to pay for me to fly back home to beg the VA to turn my $600 a month back on. They do, and I come back and the VA had given me, they didn't put it in my account. They gave me a personal check for $600. And it looked like a personal check, but it said Department of Veterans Affairs. And so I get to Mexico and I go to cash it at a check cash and they go, oh, you'll need to get the American consulate's signature.
Oh my God.
It's like, fuck Mexico. So I go to the consulate. She's closed up for the day and she's leaving. And I said, but I have no food, no way to pay rent. She looks at it and she says, how do I know that this is really a real check? She refused to sign it so I could cash it. So I forged her signature, cashed the.
Oh, you were desperate. But you didn't go to jail. What happened?
And so nothing happened. Like,
how do you know you forged it?
What?
How'd they find out you forged it?
Because she came like a couple months later. I wanted to go back and to Portland for something. I don't remember what. And when you would travel at that time, was a long time ago, you had to go through the consulate to get this or that. And she came out and she says, you know, I could have had you arrested for what you did. And I said, oh, I was desperate.
Yeah, you needed food.
Huh?
You needed food.
Yeah. So she says, I'm going to call your family and get feedback on them because I'm not sure if I'm going to press charges. So I sat there and sweated bullets for like 3 hours while she talked to my family.
And your family like protected you.
Yeah.
Well, your family's like, don't, please don't. Oh man.
I was an adult when I did that. I was like 50. That was like 21 years ago.
Must have been super desperate. I mean, that's the thing. Like when people are desperate, they do crazy things.
Yeah. But I've had run-ins with the law from the time I was like 5.
My wild child.
Yeah, but I want to hear about yours. And my run-ins were lame until Mexico. That was a good one.
I was, like I said, I was working for Harry Connick Jr. at the prosecutor's office. I told you that I was supposed to meet a date, and at that time, the airspace, it was right after 9/11, and the Super Bowl was supposed to happen in February in New Orleans. And the FBI said, no way, we can't cover the airspace for both after 9/11, Super Bowl, and Mardi Gras. And that's the year that the Super Bowl got moved. I told you the whole story, right, about making out with the guy in the car and not having to go. So the next day, or whatever time in the morning, my dad's ticket broker comes to bail us out of jail with Ron Maestri, the head of the Super Bowl commission. Because I guess this guy had cash on him. My dad had known him for a long time. My aunt was on Broadway in New York. I had like a lot of like family in like musicals and like Ziegfeld's Follies. And so he comes to get me with this guy, Jeremy, who I was supposed to be on a date with, bails me out of jail with the guy I got arrested with. And this guy's so pissed that he's like calling me all these names, like whore, slut, whatever. But we have to go to Eddie Sapir's office, the councilman at the time, to like talk to him to see about an arraignment, whatever. Magically, my arraignment disappears. I never have to go to court. No one ever finds it again. That guy's like so mad at me because he's like saying all this stuff. And Jerry was like my dad's friend, is like, hey, knock it off. Her dad's like one of our bigger clients. I should have fire you. I go into work the next day. Harry Connick Sr. calls me to his office. New Orleans is a small town. There's a lot of gossip. And he goes, Miss Glazer, I heard what happened last night, right? The sheriff called me. And I'm like, yes, sir, I know. He goes, do you want a drink? And I'm like, no. He goes, listen, I'm giving you another chance. Make me proud. Don't ever drink again, or whatever. And then he calls me killer every time he sees me. When I passed the bar for law school, they have to do a character thing to allow you to be in the bar. So you have to reveal whether you're arrested or not. And I revealed that I was arrested. And magically, no one could find my records or arraignment because New Orleans. And I told that story on Comedy Central's Sit and Spin for my very first TV credit, and only for a while. Now I have Sex Life. But so I like technically have a Comedy Central credit, even though it's not stand-up.
Yes. Oh, that is such a cool story.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Tell me some more things that you've gotten close to being in trouble with the law.
No, that was it. That was the big thing. No other, I was a good kid in general. Remember, that story happened because my key opened the wrong rental car. I didn't do like a lot of, well, as a kid, my cousins did a lot of like crazy things. Like they were really into science. And so they would like put a megaphone on their car and pull people over and pretend to be police officers and would like pull them over for nonsense reasons. But now that's a felony, like impersonating cops. Back then we just lived in a small town. No one cared. Just kids, My sister got in trouble for DUI, but my dad owned a liquor store growing up and all the cops bought liquor for him. So she got very lucky and did not get a ticket. Because DUIs, I did this. My dad always told all of us, don't drunk drive. It's a whole lot less expensive to pay for your car $120 out of a tow yard and a taxi than it is to pay $20,000 in DUIs, and it ruined your life. And my dad would always be like, you need a ride, no judgment, call me. And I always did. I didn't drink that much anyways, but I never drove anyways drunk. And to this day, actually I was in Orlando at the Improv and my friend Mike Hurley, he was there. And I don't know why, we had a drink, and for whatever reason, I was like, why am I drunk? And he goes, when did you eat last? I was like, 3 p.m. And then I realized it was 3 p.m. yesterday, like the day before. I just, for whatever reason, hadn't eaten. I had been busy. And I still left my car at the Orlando Improv. Mike, my friend, drove me home because even though it was a half hour away, and I took the Uber back and got my car. It was a pain in the ass, but nothing would have been as big of a pain in the ass as like getting pulled over by a cop.
Totally.
I'm like good like that. I don't do like comic things where I drive drunk and do cocaine and get high and crash my car. I don't do any of that because I'm a kid. I don't hang out with like a lot of party. I'm a nerd like in that way. I dress like I'm cool, but I'm not cool.
Yeah, and I don't party. I partied for 6 months after my divorce in 1981. That's it.
You
I'm
seem
not
pretty funny. I mean, you're always out and about. You love going out. I mean, you're at the comedy clubs though, so it's easier. I doubt you're like out at like the Mint Tavern or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. So one time it was Thanksgiving, and
Yeah.
my plates on my car were expired. So I had an extra car because my dad used to repossess cars, and I could get them for like $50.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
Charge 50 bucks?
my dad did everything.
You still
Everything.
know how to do that? I have a friend who needs a car. Tell me how to get him a repo car.
You go to those used car lots and you just say, who's your repo guy? And they get cars for nothing and they're looking to get rid of them.
Wow. I'm looking for your address so I can deliver this stuff. Oh, you texted me. It's not in my thing.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
So when my plates were expired, I switched plates from one of my cars to the other car.
Did you get caught?
I got caught. It was on Thanksgiving and I got it like a $250 ticket. And I belly ached to everybody I knew and made the cop the victim, like, I can't believe he gave me a ticket but I was the one that broke the law.
How old were you in that?
Let's see, my daughter was like 8. So that would have been 1984. So I would have been like 33, old enough to know better, but I didn't.
Did your daughter ever break the law?
Yes, she got arrested in Vegas.
Wow, what happened?
She was driving a rental car. Okay, so I've done the stupidest things in my life. So we were trying to make money. We were always broke. I found this carpet cleaner at Goodwill for $20. So I opened up a business where I was going to carpet clean. So I put out an ad. I didn't know what I was doing. And the guy that does everything for the Portland Trailblazers hired me to come to his mansion to
Howard
clean
Schultz?
it. Huh?
Howard Schultz?
No, this guy, Emmett International, Mr. Emmett hired me to come to his mansion to clean his white carpet and his white couch.
How'd you do?
How horribly. Oh my God, I'm surprised I didn't get arrested. So I'm cleaning this thing and I get paid and I shouldn't have got paid. And we're leaving in this car that's a diesel. And we go to the gas station and they have to fill your tank in Oregon. Can't fill your own. They put the wrong gas in it. So we're going down the freeway and it's gur, 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 and it dies. So now we're going through all the legal stuff to get the car fixed and they give us a rental. We decide to take it to Vegas from Portland, which is against the law.
Back then it was, yeah.
So we get stopped and she gets thrown in the pokey because we had the proof that we were in Vegas, but when you cross the line, it's considered theft.
Oh my God. Because you didn't tell them that you were there.
The DA, every time we had to stay in Vegas for a year for this whole thing to get through court and clear and stuff. And every time the case came up, the DA lady, little short lady with dark hair, every time she was like, oh, the next case. And then this case, and she was determined we were going down. And I had a stupid attorney that didn't do jack diddly for the $1,000 I prepaid him. And so I went up to the DA and I said, I know you want to really, make this stick, but can I tell you how this all happened? And she goes, sure, but I can use it against you. So I told her the whole sob story. And she took it down from a felony to a misdemeanor like that.
Well, that's good. You were lucky.
Yeah, for my daughter. But those are the two biggest things of run-ins with the law for me.
For a while.
Yeah, I ditched a cop in a parking lot once. I got balls. They're in there somewhere.
Yeah, you're fun. You're a wild child, huh?
Yeah. So we went way past our 15 minutes. Do you want to say any more things about? You're an attorney. What about like your spin on people getting in trouble with the law?
I mean, I defend them all the time. People are desperate. Some black kid gets arrested when he's 16 for pot, and then you see like cops follow him around, ruin his life because they're racist. It happens all over the place. In Miami, Miami's the only place where there were more Hispanics in jail than Black. It's just based on the population itself. It's ultimately a class issue. People are desperate. They steal food. They don't know what to do. They fall into kind of like this is so funny. So look, this is the video thing. I just noticed that there was a random dude here. Just like looking out on the filter. I mean, I have sympathy for people like for misdemeanors and felonies, but eventually you get to the point where you're like, all right, this dude has 45 felonies. And then you stop feeling sorry. We did go over 45 minutes. You're over 15 because you're a wild child. All right.
Thank you so much for coming on. I can't wait to see you again tomorrow.
Thanks, Linda.
Bye.